morning. It's Saturday morning, just a little before 7. So we've been up for a while. We had breakfast, did the dishes, made our lunchtime sandwich, read the newspaper a bit, and we're about ready to get underway. It's very calm here this morning, and this is, according to the weather forecast, quite literally the calm before the storm. So the NOAA weather forecast I downloaded yesterday afternoon had changed a bit, and the weather for Sunday is now officially calls for a gale warning. So that'll be for tomorrow. And that's carries on till into this morning's forecast. So we're counting that as real, and that has changed our plans some. Well, plans are always in flux, but the plan today is we're going to kind of tour around a bit in Narragansett Bay, and then come back here tonight or this afternoon, and then plan to spend all day Sunday hiding here while the storm passes through. So we'll look at the chart briefly, show you where we're going to go. Okay, here we have a chart of the north end of Narragansett Bay, and we currently are over here in the Kickamuit River. And the plan is there's supposed to be some wind later today, and actually it's supposed to get stronger as the day wears on. There's virtually none now. So anyway, the plan is to come out here into Mount Hope Bay, and then down here under a big bridge, and I think we'll go up here and take a look in Bristol Harbor, come back out, and then basically circumnavigate Prudence Island. So we'll come up to the north past Greenwich Bay. Don't think we'll peek in there. Come down this way and around the south tip, and then back up to our hurricane hole. And we'll hope to get back here before too late, because as I said, the wind is supposed to pick up as the day wears on, and there's some preparations that I have in mind to do for tomorrow's gale. I guess the threshold for a gale must be 30 knot winds, because they're predicting just over that. So it's a borderline gale, but nothing I want to be sailing in. All right, well, a few chores to take care of, and then we can pull up the anchor. So we are out of the Kickamuit River and into Mount Hope Bay, and that area there, directly into the sun, unfortunately, is the city of Fall River, which I'm pretty sure is in Massachusetts. The state line's right around here someplace. And then if we pan a little to the left, cooling towers for what I will assume is a power plant of some sort, not nuclear, but anyway, the bay has a bit of an industrial feel to it, but it's not unpleasant by any means. So this impressive peak on our starboard side is Mount Hope. It's not the highest point in Rhode Island, but it might be close. Anyway, that's what Mount Hope Bay gets its name from. So up ahead of us is a suspension bridge we'll be going under, which connects Bristol Neck to our right with an island to our left, which on the charts is labeled both Rhode Island and Aquidneck Island. Don't know what it's more commonly referred to as, but it's a pretty big island, and the city of Newport is down at its southern end, quite a few miles from here. There's also, I don't think it's showing up here, there's a wind generator over there that is finding a breeze coming from the east. It's a pretty big one. There's only one. Usually you see them in sets. But interestingly, in this very, very light breeze, it's turning at about the same speed it was turning yesterday afternoon in 15 knots or so of breeze. Made it. But seriously, the vertical clearance on that bridge is listed as 135 feet. So you could stack about 4 of me and easily make it. Okay, we're going to turn right and visit Bristol Harbor. And the breeze seems to be picking up, so we're going to try sailing. Well, here we are in Bristol Harbor. Seems nice enough. I expected it to be more commercially developed, but well, seems nice enough. Supposed to be lots of nautical services available in town. It does have a large mooring field, but there still seems to be places one could anchor. But we need to turn around and go back south. So we've left the Bristol Harbor area and we're headed west, and ahead of us is Prudence Island, which we will more or less circumnavigate if we stick to this plan. In there is Prudence Cove. No, I'm sorry. In there is Potter's Cove on Prudence Island. Looks like the Coast Guard is patrolling it for some reason. But we're just passing by. It's pretty full of mooring balls and not really a good place to anchor. That is the northern tip of Prudence Island, and we're gonna swing around that and head south for a bit. Over this way to our north, up on the end of the bay there, we can just make out the skyline of Providence, the capital of Rhode Island, of course. So this is still the north tip of Prudence Island, and there's a small gap, and then there's another much smaller island called Patience Island, and there's a channel we're going to attempt to go down through. It looks pretty narrow on the chart, but well, we'll see. So there's a harbor down there that might be a more promising anchorage than Potter Cove. All right, so we made it through that little passage safely. I'm not sure that was a good idea, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. So that does look like a promising anchorage. It's full of day trippers at the moment, I'm going to assume, because it's Saturday and it's a nice day. So they'll be leaving eventually, and on a weekday there probably wouldn't be as many there. So the reason that it's not full of moorings is that the whole north end of the island is some kind of nature preserve. So nobody lives up here, so no one has the right to put in a mooring, I guess. But it's nice that there's an empty harbor. So after coming through that passage, we came into the western side of Narragansett Bay, and the wind has picked up, and I think it's changed direction. It seems erratic, both in direction and in velocity, strength. And I was not really making much progress trying to sail it. So I decided not to mess around with it and start the motor. That's a pretty good rule motor the rest of the way back. Let me, sorry about that. Let me show you the chart again. So things are a little bouncy here. My apologies. Here is the Kickamuit River, where we started this morning. We came out into Mount Hope Bay, down under the Mount Hope Bridge, through Bristol Harbor, and out and over to the Potter's Cove area, up around the north end of Prudence Island, and then this narrow passage down between Prudence and Patience Island, and now we're out in this bay and motoring on a course to get us down to the south end of Prudence Island on our way back home. Well, not home really, back to the Kickamuit. So, time for lunch. So after motoring down the west side of Prudence Island and rounding the southern tip, I decided to get brave and try to put out the sails in these conditions. But of course, the first thing I needed to do was to put down the pop top and stash the bimini, and then lower the boom to the lower position, and we seem to be doing all right. We're in control. We're not heeling too bad. We just got passed like we were standing still by another boat, but they had 3 guys, and it was a much bigger boat and whatnot. But, you know, I might risk inching out a bit more sail. Remains to be seen whether we can sneak under the Mount Hope Bridge under sail. That'd be exciting. It's about 4 o'clock and we're back in the Kickamuit River. I just checked the latest forecast, and the gale has been downgraded to small craft warnings for tomorrow. Only 25 knot winds. Still sounds pretty nasty, so we'll plan on sitting it out here. I anchored in an area that's a little more isolated, just in case. And I'll still take some precautions for heavy winds. I'll show you some of those later. So I've just done a few extra things in preparation for tomorrow's inclement weather. These things went through my mind when the forecast was for gale conditions. Now it's just small craft warnings, but even so, I guess that's really only a difference of 5 miles an hour of wind speed. So if they were a good idea then, I guess they're still a good idea now. So one thing I did was I've been using one fuel tank for this whole voyage so far. So it was getting pretty low, so I connected up a fresh tank. So if I need the engine in an emergency type situation, one of my problems will not be running out of fuel. I've taken the anchor that usually lives on the bow pulpit, the Fortress, which I've never actually used since I have the Manson Supreme. But I brought it back here into the cockpit and connected it up to my second anchor rode. So it's just sitting there and ready to be thrown overboard should it be necessary. So I've tied off the Genoa so it can't get decide to come undone, hopefully. And I've secured the bucket with the anchor rode in it. Usually it just sits up here on the bow with a loop over the cleat, but just in case, I've tied it off. Of course, I've put up the pop-top enclosure. If I'm going to spend all day tomorrow inside, I don't want to do it with the pop-top down. Now, I've debated whether or not I need to take the bimini and wrap it up. So I'm still undecided. The bimini is still deployed. We'll see how it goes. Well, dinner tonight is chicken and rice with vegetables and, of course, a bit of wine. Well, there will be no photogenic sunset shot this evening, unfortunately. The sky is pretty completely clouded over, especially to the west. And I guess that's not terribly surprising given tomorrow's weather forecast. So I doubt anything more newsworthy will occur tonight. So see you in the morning.